Imagine waking up to the screech of metal grinding against your peaceful suburban morning, only to find your entire street sealed off like a medieval fortress, by order of your nosy HOA president. I froze mid-sip of my black coffee, staring at the monstrosity rising at the end of Willow Creek Drive, a gleaming iron gate that screamed, "Keep out," to anyone who dared approach. Little did I know, this wasn't just a petty power play. It was the tip of a fraudulent iceberg that would sink the self-appointed queen of our cul-de-sac. I'd lived on Willow Creek for a solid 15 years, the kind of quiet, tree-lined street in suburban California where kids rode bikes without helmets and neighbors waved without needing a reason. Me? I'm Jack Harlan, a freelance graphic designer who preferred pixels over politics. I'd heard the whispers about me. Rumors spread by the HOA busybodies that I was that reclusive guy who didn't attend meetings, probably hiding something shady. Truth was, I just valued my peace, paid my dues on time, and kept my lawn trimmed to avoid the drama. But that morning, as the clanking echoed like a bad omen, I slipped on my flip-flops and shuffled out, mug still in hand. The contractors were hustling, one drilling into the pavement while the other hoisted a panel. "Hey, what's this about?" I called out, trying to sound casual. The bullier one wiped sweat from his brow. "HOA gig. Turning this into a gated community. Private road now." I chuckled, but it died in my throat. Private? This street's been public since the Nixon era. "You sure about that?" He shrugged, not missing a beat. "Lady who hired us said so. Take it up with her." "Oh, I would." Her being Evelyn Cartwright, the HOA president with her perfectly coiffed silver bob, designer tracksuits, and a voice that could curdle milk with its faux sweetness. I marched over to her office, a sunroom tacked onto her McMansion at the cul-de-sac's bend, complete with a plaque reading Willow Creek HOA headquarters. She was inside, typing furiously on her laptop, surrounded by stacks of rulebooks and framed photos of perfectly manicured lawns. I knocked, and she looked up with that practiced smile. "Mr. Harlan, what a surprise. If this is about the enhancement project." "Enhancement? You mean the Berlin Wall at the end of our street?" "Yeah, that's it." "What's the deal, Evelyn? We voting on this or what?" She leaned back, folding her hands like a benevolent dictator. "The board approved it unanimously. It's for security, Jack. We've had suspicious vehicles lately, delivery trucks lingering too long, strangers walking dogs that aren't from here." I raised an eyebrow. "Suspicious? Like the UPS guy dropping off your endless Amazon hauls? Come on. Name one actual incident." She pursed her lips. "Well, my garden gnome went missing last spring." "Vandalism. Clearly." I bit back a laugh. "That's wind, Evelyn, not crime. Did you even check with the city? This road's taxpayer-funded." Her eyes narrowed, the smile cracking. "We don't need outsider interference for internal matters. This community trusts me to keep things orderly." Trust? More like fear. But I nodded, playing nice. "All right, but if it's blocking my way out, we've got a problem." As I left, I heard her mutter, "Some people just don't appreciate safety." Back home, I fired up my computer, ignoring the gossip mill that was probably already churning. Evelyn loved emailing updates that painted dissenters as troublemakers. Sure enough, my inbox pinged, a neighborhood blast labeling me as resistant to progress. Whatever. I dove into the county records online, pulling up plats and deeds. Bingo, Willow Creek Drive was unequivocally public. Maintained by the city since the subdivision's approval in 1982. No HOA ownership. No private status. I printed a fat stack, then dialed the Public Works Department. Yeah. Hi. This is Jack Harlan on Willow Creek. Our HOA just slapped a gate across the entrance like it's their kingdom. The clerk, a guy named Mike, snorted. A gate on a public road? That's a no-go. Obstructs access. Violates code. We'll send inspectors. I grinned. Make it snappy, they're welding as we speak. But Evelyn wasn't one to back down. She doubled her bets like a gambler on a losing streak. By evening, paper flyers appeared in every mailbox, proclaiming the gate as a vital safeguard against urban decay, and warning that certain individuals were jeopardizing family safety. Mine named me outright. Jack Harlan's opposition endangers us all. My wife, Lisa, read it aloud over dinner, her eyes wide. She's gunning for you, Jack. I smirked. Let her. She's just made this personal. The next day, the gate stood complete, keypad gleaming under a sign, exclusive access. Residents only, by order of Willow Creek HOA. Neighbors grumbled in whispers, old Mr. Jenkins couldn't get his Meals on Wheels delivered, and the Ramirez kids' school bus had to detour. I bypassed it by cutting through a side yard, chatting with folks along the way. This is nuts, Mrs. Lee hissed from her porch. My grandkids can't visit without a code. And Evelyn, she says it's for the greater good. I nodded. Greater good my ass. I've got the city on it. The buzz grew, a mix of frustration and reluctant admiration for Evelyn's iron fist. She'd always been the type, enforcing paint colors down to the shade, fining folks for holiday lights past January 1st, all while preaching community harmony at meetings no one attended. But this gate, it was her magnum opus of absurdity, turning our cozy nook into a paranoid enclave. As the week dragged, the gate's chaos unfolded like a bad sitcom scripted by control freaks. I collected stories door to door, notepad in hand, while Evelyn patrolled in her golf cart, clipboard at the ready. Mrs. Patel, our neighborhood baker, cornered me in her driveway. Jack. The delivery van couldn't get in, had to haul flour sacks 2 blocks myself. And my husband's stuck outside with the pickup, her teen daughter chimed in, phone in hand. Mom, my friends bailed on movie night. Who wants to beg for a gate code? I jotted it down. This isn't security. It's a siege. Down the block. Nurse Ramirez vented while unlacing her sneakers. Parked half a mile away after a double shift. If there's an emergency, how's an ambulance getting through? Evelyn says, plan better. I scoffed. Plan for her ego? The elderly Wilsons missed their dialysis ride, their daughter fuming on the phone. Mom's blood pressure's through the roof, and all because of that woman's power trip. Evelyn, sensing the tide, amped her propaganda. Another email blast. The gate ensures purity in our haven. Ignore the naysayers stirring discord. Subtle. I forwarded my evidence to more neighbors, whispering, she's not queen here. By midday Wednesday, the city inspectors rolled up in a dusty van, tools clinking. I met them at the barrier, folder thrust forward. Jack Harlan. Here's the proof. This road's public. The lead guy, burly with a mustache, skimmed the docks. No permit filed? HOA can't just claim streets. His partner measured the right-of-way, shaking his head. All city property. This is textbook illegal. They snapped photos, then knocked on Evelyn's door. She answered in pearls and a cardigan, glass of iced tea in hand. Gentlemen, this is a misunderstanding. The board deemed it essential for. The inspector cut her off. Ma'am, no permit, no gate. Provide ownership proof in 48 hours, or we tear it down. Her face twisted, a mix of outrage and forced calm. You'll hear from our lawyers. This is for the children. As they left, she shot me a glare that could wilt grass. Meddling won't win friends, Mr. Harlan. That afternoon, code enforcement arrived with cops in tow. Sirens silent but lights flashing for effect. Neighbors peeked from windows, pretending to water plants. The officer, a no-nonsense vet, confronted Evelyn again. Obstructing public access, cease and desist. She sputtered, but the vote was unanimous. He raised a brow. Unanimous among who? Your mirror. I stood back, arms crossed, savoring the unraveling. By nightfall, the street hummed with chatter, porches lit, kids out past curfew. Evelyn's control was cracking, one awkward excuse at a time. Thursday brought the bombshell. A city email confirming the road's public status, with a removal order attached. I blasted it to the HOA list, adding, "Time for transparency?" Responses flooded in, neighbors venting years of pent-up gripes. Then, a surprise call from Vice President Gregg, a mild-mannered accountant who'd always towed Evelyn's line. "Jack, you were spot on." I dug into the minutes, no vote happened. She forged it. I leaned against my desk. "Fraud, Gregg. Pure and simple." He sighed. "She's run this like her fiefdom. Time to boot her." We plotted. An emergency meeting per bylaws. Flyers went out. Not Evelyn's glossy ones, but plain paper calling for a vote. Word spread like wildfire, whispers turning to shouts. The meeting hit Sunday like a storm. Lawn chairs dotted the park. Over 40 residents crammed in, more than any potluck. Gregg stood with allies Sarah and Miguel. Evelyn arriving late in oversized shades. Lips pursed. "This farce ends now," she snapped. Gregg cleared his throat. The gate was unauthorized. No board input. Evelyn jumped up. "I acted decisively, for safety," Sarah shot back. "You mean for your ego? Forged minutes don't count." Murmurs swelled. Evelyn huffed. "This is mutiny against order." I stepped forward. "No, it's democracy. Vote to remove her and audit everything." The tally? Landslide against her. She stormed off mid-count, muttering about ungrateful peasants. Monday, city crews dismantled the gate with saws buzzing like sweet revenge. Neighbors watched, passing popcorn literally. "Cheers to freedom," someone toasted with lemonade. Post-gate, the audit dropped like a grenade. Carlos emailed prelims. Thousands siphoned to consultants. Evelyn's nephew's ghost company. Fines hit the HOA, but new leadership vowed reform. Evelyn's house listed for sale. Her reign in tatters. But oh, it got juicier. Weeks later, as I pruned roses, a sleek sedan pulled up. Out stepped Detective Lena Vargas, badge gleaming. "Mr. Harlan," following up on HOA fraud flags from the audit. I blinked. "It went that far?" She nodded. "Misappropriation, felony level." Questions. We sat on the porch. I spilled on the shady invoices. "She never disclosed ties," I said. Vargas tapped a page. "Shell company, No license. Funds funneled personal. My pulse quickened. She's toast. If evidence holds. Yes. Next day, HOA accounts froze. Then Vargas returned with warrants. Raiding Evelyn's empty house. Computers, files hauled out. Neighbors gawked. She fled, Vargas confided. Phone pinged in Arizona. Then ghosted. News crews swarmed. Headlines blaring HOA heist. President on the lam. State AG subpoenaed board alums. 2 cronies implicated in bogus contracts. One for a phantom playground that funded Evelyn's spa retreats. Friday twist. A county surveyor at my door with blueprints. Your HO, ex-president, filed for land grabs. Forged your sig on annexations. I stared at the map. Her phase 2 slicing my backyard. She tried stealing my property? Looks it. For grants to her fake firm, over $50K. Rage mixed with dark amusement at her greed. Sunday's resident meeting sealed it. Bylaws rewritten. Oversight committee formed. Applause thundered. No more tyrants, Greg declared. Evelyn surfaced as a fugitive. Assets seized. I got the call, caught in Nevada, trying a fake ID at a casino of all places. Poetic. The trial loomed. Me subpoenaed as witness. Court day packed the benches, neighbors shoulder to shoulder. I testified after the auditor, DA grilling methodically. When did suspicion hit? The gate. Unilateral madness. Authorized forgeries? Hell no. Jury deliberated briefly. Guilty on 12 counts. Fraud. Embezzlement. Forgery. Judge thundered. Abuse of trust at its ugliest. 10 years. Plus restitution. Evelyn sat stone-faced. Empire crumbled. Outside. No cheers, just relieved sighs. Recovery funds flowed. $80K divvied. Mine planting a hedge where the gate scarred the pavement. New folks moved into her house. Oblivious. We pied them welcome. Board added ironclad rules. Permits mandatory. Approvals supermajority. Street breathed free, trucks rolling. Kids laughing. Evenings. A porch sit. Coffee steaming. Savoring the normalcy we'd fought for. But here's the kicker. In a world where HOAs wield clipboards like scepters, was Evelyn the villain? Or just the symptom of a system begging for abuse? You tell me, was justice served? Or should we all gate our doors tighter?